Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm glad to be here again. It's been a long while, but I'm back with a very good change. Glory to Jesus. So yes, it's been a while, like I said earlier, but henceforth, by God's grace, I will do my possible best, or I want to take the promise to drop at least one video a week, one long video a week, then as much as possible short video in a week. But I'm certain I'll be dropping one video per week on this channel. So without further ado, I want to go into what I plan to talk about today, and I'm going to be sharing my experience about the 120 days prayer challenge that I did. Short story before I start to share. Last year, because I'm somebody who loves to pray a lot. Last year, of course, I prayed, but towards the end of the year, I realized that there was more to prayer that I wanted to experience. I wanted to pray more. And so I thought of what I could do or how I could go about that. And then someday I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this particular video of this young lady who went on a 120 days prayer challenge. And I'm like, oh, this is good. This is something I can do. I didn't put it in my, I just thought that, okay, something I could do. Then I think the second day or later on, I saw another person embarking on the same challenge, 120 days prayer challenge. I think it was recommended by Apostle Arome Osai. And when I saw the second person, I'm like, this is one of the way God speaks to me, repetition. That this is what God would have me do for next year. That was, I think, November 2023. So December, I started planning, started preparing my mind that I was going on a 120 days prayer challenge. I did not even know how this was going to be. I just knew that, okay, prepare your mind. We are going on this journey. I thought it was going to be easy. Normal thing now. I love to pray. What's day 120? That's 4 months. I'm like, okay. Then the year began, and now January 1st, everybody needs to eat New Year, right? So I didn't start on January 1st. I started on January 2nd. Now this is to the experience. I already done sharing the story. This is to the experience. So January 2nd, 2024, I started the 120 days prayer challenge, and I started pretty well. The first day I was energized. I was scabushing for 2 hours. I was 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. I was scabushing. I was feeling myself. I'm not having now prayer. First day, second day, third day, first week, second week. I was getting tired. Consistently, Monday to Sunday, there was no stopping. Because the thing is, normally when I pray, I might pray, let's say, 5 days in a week. So I just deliberately leave 2 days out of the week to sleep and to rest. But now there was no leaving any day. It was from Monday to Sunday, I was praying. And second week, I was beginning to get tired. Of course, it wasn't easy. I wasn't sleeping because when I wake up the following day, I have to do all my normal regular things. So, and I was like, okay, God, I really want to do this thing. I really, really want to do this thing. So I continued. So I think I continued that way, right? But like I wasn't praying most times for the complete. So I was like, I could pray for 1 hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes. But I really wanted to do this thing consistently. That was the goal. So I continued then on. I was not talking to God that God, how do I do this thing that I'll be accountable? I don't want to tell anybody I was doing this, but I needed to be accountable and I needed to do this. So the Holy Spirit now gave me an idea that why don't I start going live on YouTube, right? And I was like, okay, that's not a bad idea. But people will say, and I was like, you are trying to, at least you won't be able to sleep. That's number one. That's another story. And so day 35, I started going live on YouTube. And the first day I went live on YouTube, the funny thing was I was even kind of dozing off because I traveled that day, so I was tired. But I knew that I wanted to do this. So I did it day 35, then continually till day 120. But there are some days I missed, probably because of network or probably because the area I was, because I traveled a lot, the area I was, there was no light or something. But I still prayed, and for majority of the days from day 35 upward to the 120, I was being live. So it was going pretty well. Some days I will pray for 1 hour, 30 minutes, even on live. Some days I'll pray for 1 hour, but I made sure that I continued on this journey. Now, why am I saying all of these? Few of the things that this prayer challenge did for me. Now, let me not forget that I was also fasting. No, like I fasted most of the days, but I didn't fast all of the 120 days. So I was praying and fasting for 120 days. And it was such a powerful but a funny experience. So, few of the things that happened to me was number one, my spiritual life and eyes got enlightened, like God got heightened. Like I received so much revelation, so much ideas. Like to the extent that I think a particular day I went to meet my dad that, oh, I have this idea and this idea. My dad was just smiling at me like, see, you calm down because all of these ideas, you cannot bring all of them to life at once. God is giving you all of these ideas for future purposes. So get them, pray about them, begin to work towards them. But you cannot fulfill everything at once. And so I got so many revelations, so many ideas, so many things that I could do for the kingdom, for women ministry that I'm called into, for the part of ministry that I'm being called into. And so that was one thing that I got so much. Like I got a lot of revelations, and that was one of the benefits. That was one of the major reasons why I wanted to pray more, to get revelations, to get clarity, to get ideas, and a full understanding of the ministry that God has called me into. Another thing was my YouTube channel grew. Funny thing, funny thing was that this happened as soon as I started my YouTube channel algorithm just started to grow, started to blow up. Like I was getting my watch time, my views, and all of that, and I was like, okay, this is good. I now pray more, like, and I automatically pray, right? Like even when I'm tired or I don't even have the strength, I just see myself praying because for 4 months straight, I was praying consistently every day. So now it's already a part of me that even when I don't feel like praying, or when I don't want to pray, or when I think that I am tired, I just pray. My spirit just pray. So these are the benefits, or these are the things that I noticed that changed in my life. God answered majority of my prayers. Oh my God. Even prayers that okay, I cannot share yet, or even prayers that I feel like I've not seen the manifestation, but I got answers. If I could put it that way, like I got answers to a lot of long time prayers, a lot of things that I wanted God to do for me or God to speak about. God gave answers to them. Now, saying all of these of the things that I experienced that, of course, were good or were benefits, or the changes that I noticed, I also experienced some things that were not very fine. Quick story. One of the things I cannot remember this particular day. The day this thing happened, it wasn't funny, but now I'm laughing at it because I later realized that that was the strategy of the enemy to stop me from praying, number one, and to stop me from embarking on the journey and receiving the blessing that God had for me. So I cannot remember, but I think it was after day 90 or so, a particular day I was praying. When they say when you are praying, don't sit down or don't lie down or don't sleep, you are deceiving yourself. Me, because I thought I was a jagger, but of course it was prayer now. So I thought if I sit down, I would continue my prayer. So this day I was praying. I think I already prayed to like about 40 minutes. Then I sat down because I was very tired that day. I cannot even remember what happened, but I knew that I was so tired. So I sat down and I was praying. And then the next thing that happened was I just noticed that I woke up and I continued prayer. So apparently I had slept. It was later on I knew that I slept for about 10 minutes on a live video. And the funny thing was on this particular day, a number of people joined the live. You see how devil works. Normally, people don't like really just join and leave over time, apart from a few days. But on this particular day, a number of people joined this live video and they stayed. And then a number, I think about one or two people saw me sleeping and they God. They left amazing comments. Let me put it that way. So it was after the prayer, I woke up and I continued prayer. And I think I've now later prayed for about 1 hour, 30 minutes, and I stopped the live. And when I went back to see what happened, and I was sad, I was discouraged. I wasn't happy. I'm like, why would something like this happen to me? But I spoke to the Holy Spirit later on in the day, and this was like, this is just a strategy for the enemy to stop you from doing this because see, now your prayer was making an effect over your destiny and over everything you've been praying about. And I'm like, Satan, you did this. Don't worry, you will continue. I continued, and eventually I finished my 120 days prayer. So I think a day after I ended, I traveled. I went for a worship program. So of course, after the worship program, I went back to where I was supposed to sleep. And then the funniest thing happened. I was going to talk to an advisor friend of mine when my phone fell down from upstairs, like second floor, and the screen and everything just scattered. And hey, I'm like, see the person who's supposed to start a daily prayer in like 3 to 4 days time. Now your phone has spoiled. And I'm like, okay, I couldn't even wait to finish what I was supposed to do there. I ran back home and I took it back to Slows for them to repair it and all of that. So when I got back to Slows, they're like, oh, in a week time, I'm going to be able to get my phone back. I'm like, okay, I should be able to manage for a week. And then I dropped the phone. I paid by God's grace, and I was to wait that by weekend I'll get my phone back. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, going to a month. My phone did not come back. But the funniest thing was that during that period, at first I was worried and I'm like, oh God, I need to do this. And God was like, just calm down. Use this time to rest, to rejuvenate, and to just do other things that you would not normally do. So I studied number, I read a number of books, watched a number of videos, I studied my Bible more and all of that just so my time will not waste thinking and waiting for my phone. And so when I just prayed that boss and I just like meditated, I had the Holy Spirit telling me that this was another strategy of the enemy to stop me from continuing this prayer because he now knew that this prayer was going to, number one, was affecting him and it was going to affect and change my life and the number of people that was going to start joining the daily prayers. And I'm like, you made a mistake there. And it just really made me realize because, let this be an encouragement to you that no matter what the devil is doing with you or doing to you in this season of your life, it's just, Yoruba will say, Iyale. It's just threatening. It can do little or nothing to take away the blessing that God has for you. Because this was the way of devil taking my phone away from me or whatsoever access I had to help people. But he did not know to do like what the enemy meant for evil, God meant it for good. Number one, now I have my phone back to help people and to start the videos. And number two, the time he took away the phone from me, I had it for a personal time, for a personal retreat, to do things for myself that I would not normally do. So that was a two-in-one blessing that the enemy was not smart enough to realize that God could do with him taking away my phone. So this is just an encouragement to you, all of these stories, all of these experiences, to realize that keep praying, keep believing. God is going to answer you no matter how difficult or how hard the devil is coming at you in this time. It is little compared to the blessing that God has in store for you. So let me use the opportunity to also tell you and remind you that we'll start our daily prayers by June 2nd, which is tomorrow. So we'll be starting our daily prayers by 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. and by 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. It's called While Men Slept Daily Prayer. We just pray concerning our day, concerning our life, and I trust God to give us answers to all of our prayers, as many of us that would join. So please don't forget to like, to share, to comment. I would love to read your comments about my stories and the experiences I've shared with you. And most importantly, do subscribe so that a number of people on YouTube can also watch this video and learn from me. Like I said earlier, keep praying, keep believing. God is going to answer all of your prayers. Bye.